Damn, I thought you would be able to see the tree. It's too dark now. Whatever. Procrastination at its finest.
Okay. Hey guys, so today, before I start the video, I'll just say that sometimes I'll interlock like subjects together or go out of order, but I'll hit everything. Also, you should be studying on your own time or studying more in depth before the test because I might not go through everything as well as you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so stay tuned. Nationalism in South Asia. The Indian National Congress was created in 1885 in dedication to Indian independence. Mohandas Gandhi was the leader of this Congress. He believed in using nonviolent methods such as passive resistance, peacefully suffering the British violence, and civil disobedience, which was disobeying unjust British laws. In 1930, Gandhi led the Salt March to protest British salt taxes. He boycotted British cotton goods and bought homemade goods or homespun goods instead. Finally, in 1947, Britain granted India its independence. The tensions between the Muslims and Hindus grew, nationalistic views causing them to want to separate. Gandhi did not want to divide India. However, on January 30th, 1948, Gandhi was murdered. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India. He ruled from 1947 to 1964. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the founder of Pakistan and was Pakistan's first leader from 1947 to 1948. Demographic divisions in South Asia. So I mixed a few topics in this, so there's multiple because it could be applied. Okay. When Britain gave India independence, India was partitioned into two nations. You have India, the Hindu nation, and you have Pakistan, the Muslim nation. And after the partition, millions of Hindus and Muslims moved from their homes because that's demography, the movement of people. Because obviously, if you're in a situation where you can move, if you're in a Muslim state and but you're Hindu, you'd want to move to a Hindu state, stuff like that. But still to this day, keep in mind that there are Hindus in Pakistan and there are Muslims in India. But yeah, because obviously not everyone can move. But yeah. African independence movements. The warring brought Western ideas like nationalism to many Africans, which is a continuity, because many wars tend to do that. It spreads a lot of ideas around. Synthesis, the Crusades, although the Crusades was a huge failure, it succeeded in cultural diffusion. Throwback to 9th grade. Anyway, this nationalism led to tensions between Africa and European countries when they weren't given independence after World War I. In Kenya, nationalistic ideas inspired the Young Kikuyu Association to protest high British taxes. In Libya, nationalism inspired Omar Mukhtar to lead his guerrilla forces. It's like tongue ties today again, I'm sorry. To lead his guerrilla forces against the Italians for reform. Nationalism helped with the rise of wanting independence. African leaders like Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican who believed in the need for unity of all Africans, known as Pan-Africanism. Jomo Kenyatta will speak more about him. I won't give away what we'll say. And Nnamdi Azikiwe, who started a newspaper called the West African Pilot and urged nonviolence. Africans gained independence between the 1950s and the 1960s. France wanted to keep control of Algeria because many French lived there. However, nationalists resisted with guerrilla warfare. Charles de Gaulle gave Algeria its independence in 1962. 1962! Algeria independence. That's how you remember it. Anyway. Kwame Nkrumah was a leader who guided Ghana into gaining independence from Britain in 1957 and preferred an African form of socialism. Jomo Kenyatta argued that British rule was destroying native culture in Kenya and supported capitalism. The Hutus and the Tutsis. So, many democratic governments failed in Africa between 1957 and 1982. Woo! Got those dates right! Ooh! Oh, wait! I gotta fix that lighting. Can't be too bright, you know. Anyway, national boundaries were drawn by colonial powers, and that was determined during the Berlin Conference, during the Scramble for Africa. putting separate ethnic groups and tribes together, and even separating some tribes. So they would pull, people who, were supposed to be together apart, and put people together that were supposed to be apart together, stuff like that. And that caused war. For example, the African Hutus and Tutsis were grouped together in Burundi and, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and Rwanda. However, the constant fighting created an unstable government. In 1994, a Hutu rampage left 500,000 Tutsis dead in Rwanda. And we talked about this today. It could be classified as a genocide because a specific group of people was targeted. Demographic challenges, these are some I found in the notes. I'm sure you could come up with more, probably even better ones. But the growing population and droughts have crippled Africa's economy. The spread of diseases such as AIDS has affected many in sub-Saharan Africa. And rapid urbanization has caused many slums to develop around cities in Africa. South Africa apartheid. Originally, the political system in South Africa was dominated by whites. Political activity on the part of blacks began with the formation of the African National Congress in 1912. By the 1950s, South African whites, Afrikaners, had strengthened laws separating blacks and whites in a system of racial segregation known as apartheid. Blacks demonstrated against the apartheid laws, but the government brutally repressed the demonstrators. Nelson Mandela was the leader of African National Congress and was arrested in 1962, but was released by F.W. de Klerk in 1990. In 1994, South Africa held its first election where people of all races could vote, and Nelson Mandela was elected as the first black president in South Africa. He focused on economic development, health reforms, and economic reforms. Ooh, gotta turn that page. Okay. Sharpeville was an example of resistance to apartheid. In 1960, South African police killed 69 people who were leading a peaceful march. Soweto Uprising in 1976, the government attempted to force the use of Afrikaans, the language of the Afrikaners, in black schools, which caused rioting throughout the nation. Bishop Desmond Tutu was an activist against apartheid, and he promoted peaceful protest, and you could probably synthesize him to Gandhi, because Gandhi was all about peace and stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to ask Mr. Maui more about him, so I'll get back to you with more stuff on him. F.W. de Klerk. In 1889, the white South Africans elected F.W. de Klerk as president. He quickly repealed all apartheid legislations, freed Nelson Mandela, as stated before, and other political leaders, and worked with Mandela effect, literally, I keep wanting to say Mandala, but it's Mandela. Okay, and worked with Mandela to create a new constitution and a peaceful transition to a democratic, multiracial nation. So that's it for today. I think I got most of everything out. I'm sorry if it feels rushed. I'm trying to get today's video done because it's really late right now and I'm really tired. But that's no excuse. AP World is life! Whoa! Okay, we're good. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. And yeah.